we need.
What we need is a little speed.
Before you say it, yes, one volume wasn't enough to cover up the moments of your favorite speedster. You can argue that there are no more Quicksilver moments to add, but that's just your subconscious whispering to you. Or perhaps it might actually be true. But jokes aside, we're here with another 10 moments of the Scarlet Speedster Quicksilver. So without further delay, here we go. Number 10 is Quicksilver eating a burger. We told you this list isn't just about movie clips, right? So to prove the point, we have a mashup of a commercial. Quicksilver has that cheery personality from the beginning to the end of the commercial, where he starts chewing a hamburger and ends it off with a shrug. As for his speed, he eats the whole hamburger within 1 second and doesn't even forget to drop that falling piece of bacon to his mouth. Oh, and we almost forgot to mention how he runs off and grabs a drink whilst he's eating too. Let's not forget that Quicksilver isn't only the fastest man, but he's also the fastest eater. 9 is Quicksilver versus Ultron's army. Yes, just because we showed the X-Men version of Quicksilver doesn't mean you can forget his appearance in Avengers Age of Ultron. We added a few of his scenes, especially his sacrifice in Volume 1, so we took this chance to add his epic fight against the robot sent by Ultron. It doesn't matter whether you have a human brain or a brain full of programmed AI, you can't ever match the speed of a moving speedster if you don't have the same ability. Quicksilver dashes off and kicks the hell out of the robots in just one move. This scene once again reminds us how cool it would have been if Quicksilver survived the battle and actually lived to see the events of Infinity War and Endgame.
As he is also known, Magneto, contact your local authorities immediately and proceed with caution, as he is considered extremely...
Coming in next is Quicksilver talking to his mom. Family relationships. They aren't the sweetest ones out there, are they? But when you're a mutant with a secret ability hiding from society, everything feels much worse. We're glad the screenwriter of X-Men Apocalypse decided to include this in the script, because even though this scene was short, it helped give viewers some understanding of what Quicksilver's background looked like. His mother seems to detest Magneto, and Quicksilver, on the other hand, seems to know that his father is Magneto indeed. It's not the most emotional moment, but the scene subtly conveys a barrier that's weighing between the mother and son. Both want to accept that Magneto is indeed Quicksilver's father, but at the same time, it feels like both of them are holding that statement back. His mother urges him to rethink his decision to find Magneto, but Quicksilver, being the stubborn one he is, he won't take no for an answer.
Trust me, this won't end well. Nothing does with him.
You know him? Magneto?
I used to. Not so sure anymore.
Telling Mystique about Magneto being his father comes in next. Mystique isn't the best person to keep secrets, much less be the person to tell them to, but she becomes the first to know that Quicksilver is indeed the son of Magneto. We really love how Quicksilver approached this conversation. He went around the issue by asking whether Mystique knew Magneto really well, and when she questions back why he's so interested in him, he reveals his secret.
He's my father.
What?
Him and my mom, they did.
No, I know, but...
He tells Mystique that no matter how fast he is, he always seems late. Now for the Flash fans out there, this may seem like a daily statement, but we're surprised to see something like this coming out of Quicksilver's mouth. This scene managed to show that Quicksilver also has a part that regrets his powers and is a little pessimistic, but it isn't something to get discouraged about because every hero has their flaws.
You know, for a guy who was as fast as me, I always seem to be too late.
Quicksilver's intro scene comes in next. We all know what superheroes need in their debut movie, a cool introduction. Heroes like Iron Man or the Hulk have their own epic introductions, and Quicksilver from the X-Men franchise blew our minds with a comedy-mixed intro in X-Men Days of Future Past when he met Wolverine, but we can't forget about Quicksilver from Age of Ultron. The Avengers move forward as a team, slowly reaching the fort, but suddenly this speedster appears out of nowhere and knocks out Hawkeye and surprises the rest of the group.
You didn't see that coming?
This was the very first scene of Quicksilver, not only in the movie, but in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. And boy, didn't he have a damn good introduction.
We have an enhance in the field.
How are we gonna get through that? I can get you in there. I came here for him. Let me help you.
At number 5, Quicksilver and Mystique talk to Magneto. This may have been one of the most anticipated moments of every Quicksilver fan in the X-Men fandom, but luckily Quicksilver still had a long way to go before fate gives him a chance. In this scene, it's Mystique who plays an integral role in changing Magneto's mind and helping him realize that there are actually people who care about him.
You have more family than you know.
But when the spotlight of the scene moves on to Quicksilver, he almost tells him that he's his son before changing words and avoiding that response.
I'm here for my family too.
We can't blame him for it though, can we? It was the end of the world, and reconciling family relationships seemed to be the worst thing to do at that moment, but everyone felt it as Quicksilver missed his chance to bond with Magneto.
Oh, what's in there?
This isn't a game.
The creature.
No. Go on.
Let's lighten the mood a bit now, shall we? This is especially easy if we're talking about someone like Quicksilver, who's always trying to see the funny side of things, even when all the other heroes are quite serious about it. Case in point, the clash between Captain and Tony Stark. This was one of the most integral parts of the movie, with the two former Avengers taking sides on the best strategy to take down Ultron, but Quicksilver, being the impatient one, removes all cables and finally manages to silence everyone.
You're saying?
We need to forgive him. He's a teenager who barely wants to touch subjects like science and philosophy about saving the world, and we're actually glad he did this, because the last thing we need is another civil war between the former heroes. But unfortunately, karma can be tough. Hawkeye pins him down once again.
What? You didn't see that coming?
And this scene taught us that no matter how fast Quicksilver is, there are things he can't avoid. Up next is a father and son moment. We've talked about Quicksilver saving his good old dad who tried to kill the president in Volume 1, so how about their conversation on the lift? This was another great chance to bring up that "I am your son" conversation, but luckily it wasn't pulled off.
I'm a total loser.
Instead, we get a hilarious moment where the two converse inside the elevator. This was dropped into the movie to ease up the mood after all of that tension. There is quite the juxtaposition by placing the two of them in a lift, and those subtle directions like Quicksilver's reaction to Magneto being arrested for trying to kill the president is praiseworthy.
For killing the president.
We also can't ignore that this was the first father and son conversation the two had, even though the topic wasn't brought up.
They told me you control metal. My mom once knew a guy who could do that.
How can you possibly hope to stop me?
Like the old man said.
Together.
And in the runner-up spot, we have Quicksilver fighting alongside the Avengers. Do you remember that epic and mind-blowing scene from the Age of Ultron movie? No, I'm not talking about the fight between the Hulk and Iron Man, nor the first confrontation of Tony Stark and Ultron. I'm speaking about that hyped moment where all the Avengers joined forces to take down Ultron's robot army together. And of course, when I say all heroes, I obviously mean Quicksilver as well. When Thor was blasting lightning, Iron Man was fending off the robots with his own weapons, and Captain, Black Widow and Scarlet Witch defending their own territories, it was Quicksilver who dashed between them and managed to have the most impact. One of the reasons this scene is so highly rated is because this was the first and last battle he fought together with the Avengers as a group. At that moment, we can't forget that Quicksilver was truly an Avenger among the members of the team.
You know, I'm 12 minutes older than you.
Go.
Now, the one to top our list and take our number one spot is another TV commercial that featured Quicksilver, the Sky Fibre commercial. Is there an internet connection that can surpass Quicksilver? We know the company might be exaggerating, but well, who doesn't? The concept behind this advertisement is that Sky Fibre's internet connection speed can surpass limits, and what better way to pull that concept off than by using a speedster? And what's funnier is how he uses every person in the room to show off his speed, slicing apples, stealing chips, or even messing up with Nightcrawler. Those are no problems for Quicksilver as long as he has his enjoyment. The commercial ends with him running to the Sky Fibre company, purchasing a connection, running back home and fixing it.
Fast enough for you?
There comes an end to Volume 2. As mentioned, I've counted every major and minor scene of Quicksilver from movies. We hope that we get a Quicksilver solo movie one day so we can really see the potential of his character. So remember to check out Volume 1, and please like, share and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time on the TV Regent.